Hello.
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 Welcome back to episode 2 of our podcast. We actually got Eli here this time. Woo!
Yeah.
Let's go. Eli, yeah. So, dude, how do we want to start this? Do we want to start with responding to last week's trial run? That's the wrong sheet.
Sure.
Okay. So,
Sure, why not?
um we had some technical errors last week, which was fine. We still got uploaded somewhat on schedule. But that yeah, so I apologize for that. We had I've had a couple people tell me that it was a little too long, so I need to set a timer for an hour and a half because we're gonna make sure this doesn't extend 2 hours again. Okay.
Oh, heck yeah.
Um. There. All right. Um. Other than that, we talked way too much about football last time.
We're just
I know
excited.
nothing about football.
I know you don't know nothing about football, so um, I think that
Hey,
was
but
all the
no,
notes,
football starts tomorrow.
huh?
You guys are probably pumped about football season starting tomorrow.
Yeah, Chiefs versus the Lions tomorrow, so NFL kickoff. Um, you want to do a recap of what happened throughout this week?
Oh, besides Nebraska led it in the fourth quarter and decided to blow it.
Well, yeah. So we suffered the Husker curse again. Um, but I did see improvement, and that's what we want. Um, the Husker volleyball team had the most in attendance for a women's event, so congratulations to them. We lost.
92,003 people.
Yes, thank you. 92,003 people. Tremendous. And it was two Nebraska teams playing against each other. Um, we lost two legends this weekend. Jimmy Buffett, and Steve Harwell, right?
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
the lead singer of Smash Mouth.
yeah. Steve Harwell was the lead singer of Smash Mouth, All Star. If you don't know which song he's popular on, and then Jimmy Buffett was popular for 5 o'clock somewhere in Margaritaville. I would say those were the two that I can really just name off the top of my head. Um, yeah, that's all I have as a weekly recap. Anything on your end?
Nope, that's about it. Except
Okay.
for Travis Kelsey did suffer a knee injury, so he's questionable for tomorrow night.
Dang, bro. Dang. Well, that sucks. Hopefully he might be able to play. But I know
Hopefully
he.
he's good to go.
But he'll probably get destroyed because everybody hits him really hard out there on the field. Um. So yeah. So this episode, we noticed we should introduce ourselves a little bit better. So we are going to focus on introducing ourselves today, especially since we have Eli joining us.
Hello.
So woo! So
Woo!
who wants to start first on introductions, bro?
I don't
How
know. I
about we
could.
let our host go?
You want me to go first? I think Levi wants to go first.
Well, go for it.
I'll let you go
Just not
first
me.
if you want. I can go first. It don't matter.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go oldest to youngest. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So, as I already mentioned last week, my name is Levi Kelwitz. I was born December 4th, 1992, to the fine couple of Lyle and Karen Kelwitz. As you can tell, my two younger brothers are on this podcast with us, Elijah and Isaiah. So, um, so growing up, Dad used to compete in demo derbies and do great races, and I used to help him out in the pits with building his cars and stuff as a kid. And then when Elijah came along, he decided to get out of that and try being more of a family guy. Mom owns Pioneers Inn in Gilead, Nebraska. She has owned it for 37 years. If you don't know anything about Gilead, Nebraska, it's a small town in between Hebron and Fairbury on Highway 136. It is a population of about 30 people. Pioneers Inn is the only remaining restaurant. Well, I should say only remaining business. It is a restaurant, but it's the only remaining business in town unless you want to consider the post office as a business. The post office is ran by our Aunt Mary. Our dad is the mayor of this town. That just tells you kind of like how
Chairman, not mayor, chairman.
chairman, but this kind of just tells you how small this town actually is to describe kind of how we grew up. So,
Also, Jesse James's sister used to live in Gilead or around Gilead.
yep, she lived outside of Gilead. Unfortunately, her house no longer exists because I don't know, it's been several years ago, a tornado came through and wiped out the house. So, unfortunately, it is no longer in existence due to that. Our grandparents owned a farm outside of town. They had a really small farm. It was only about 250 acres, and they owned about 50 head of cattle. Grandpa was someone who could always build something from scratch. He could fix just about anything. And we as kids like to go out there and tinker in the junk pile and everything. So that is where we kind of get our creativity from. As the years gone by, I figured out that I was a decent football player. I was not very athletic, but I did have the heart, the determination. I had the knowledge. I just kind of like understood the whole game. So I was hoping that was going to be my one ticket out of this town and my one ticket to help my family out. But unfortunately, God had other plans for me. So instead, I graduated. Instead, my senior year, we had a coach that kind of really didn't start any of us seniors, and that was kind of the real turning point. So I started interning for Francis Browner at Browner's Repair and Matt's Body Shop, Matt Richardson there. If you guys need any body work or any mechanic work, I would highly recommend those two. They are very, very good people. So they taught me a lot. I graduated high school in 2011. I went to Southeast Community College in Milford. I really didn't like their teaching style there. I'm not trying to like disrespect them or anything like that, but I just personally I didn't like their teaching style. So I ended up dropping out, and I kind of questioned what decision I wanted to do after that. Well, met a local farmer by the name of Mike Itson who convinced me to go to Central Community College in Hastings, which was more of my teaching style, and I graduated there with a associate's degree in automotive tech. And then after I did that, I went to go work in the field for about 5 years. In 2017, unfortunately, my mechanical career kind of came to an end due to a DUI. If anybody is out there and they are looking to become a mechanic, DUIs there are some businesses out there that will work with you with a DUI, but insurances don't like it and they will kind of not let you drive customer vehicles. So you become a liability. So I could have stayed working in a shop, but the problem is I couldn't test drive a car, so that made me kind of handicapped. So the best option was just to move on and figure out something else better to do with my life at that point. The other funny note, I should say the funny part about it is the night that I got picked up for my DUI is the same exact night Patrick Mahomes got drafted to the Kansas City Chiefs. So it will kind of always have a memorabilia or a memory spot in my life. After my DUI, a friend of mine and we decided we'd start our own repair shop. That went well for about 6 months until we figured out we were breaking even, but like if we wanted to go and say we wanted to go out and eat, or say we wanted to go to the bar and have a few drinks or and stuff like that, we could not physically afford to do things like that. So that was kind of the other thing. Plus, his wife, or him and his wife got a divorce, and she moved back out to Cali. And if he was in so many miles of his kid, he had 50-50 custody. So at that point, we just decided it was best to close down shop and move on with our lives. After that, I went and worked out at Endicott Clay for about 4 years. That was not really my cup of tea. I still worked on cars on the side. I still tried to do what I could mechanically when I had the time. And on September 5th of 2020, I got married to my lovely wife, Shiloh, which we just celebrated our 3-year anniversary on, actually, that would have been yesterday. I was going to say on Tuesday, but that was yesterday. We have a lovely 2-year-old daughter by the name of Ivy Rose. And then I am a tender truck driver out at Aurora Co-op. I am recently working on forming a nonprofit, as I mentioned last week. I need to give a huge shout out to Jeff Friesen and Hebron Bible Church for supporting me in this and for doing what they can to help me with this. Also, a huge shout out to Chaplain Peterson out of Ashland. She's also working with me to get me into veteran groups and military groups so I can reach veterans. Speaking of veterans, one thing I did forget is I have spent the last 9 years in the Army National Guard, and I am a 91 Bravo, which is a light-wheeled vehicle mechanic. So that is one thing that I've noticed with my military career is there's a lot of support groups out there, but there's really not anything that is willing to like take something off of your plate. So like, and I also see even on the civilian side, I see a lot of people struggling. A lot of people can't pay for car repairs and so on and so forth, which I totally understand because I understand they're a business. I understand they need to make money. Um, they they got to do what they got to do to keep their doors open, and not everyone has the financial needs to do that. Um, so I kind of felt like God was calling me to use my mechanic. Like I always wanted to help people. I always like helping people, and so I felt like God was giving me a calling to help people in need, and the only way I could do that was using my mechanic. Last week, somebody asked me what to describe a little bit more of my nonprofit. So, um, so with that being said, is what Charity Auto does is they ask for a minimum donation of $20 and for you to provide parts. And then they do the labor side for free, which is what I'm going to. So that is basically what I'm going to do. I may or may not change prices. I don't know that yet. I have not figured out the full details of everything yet. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide that, and I'm also going to have a like where you can like a donation to where you could donate me vehicles. I'm also going to hopefully be able to donate vehicles to families in need. So like say you have a blown motor and you can't afford a new vehicle. If I have something on my lot, we will work with you to get a vehicle. We will be going through background checks with Blue Valley to make sure that make sure you're not lying to me. In other words, and it's basically I'm just covering myself. The other thing is, so I like building rat rods, I like building straight rods, hot rods, stuff like that. So that's going to be another thing I'm going to do is hopefully I can build a few things, auction them off, and when I auction those off, then I'll use the money and invest it back into my nonprofit for either equipment or or like just overhead fees or even more vehicles. And so I'm going to go from there and figure out what I can do to help people. Um, and with that being said, so Elijah is actually helping me build or design a logo for my nonprofit. So with that being said, I will turn it over to Elijah to tell him more about himself.
Well, hello, I'm Elijah Kilwitz, and I am the middle child out of these three guys. I am a graphic designer, and I am working on Levi's logo for his nonprofit mechanic work. I went to college at CCC, same as the other guys here. I went for graphic design, so I'm doing some freelance on the side. Um, well, to kind of give a background story, I have always kind of enjoyed art, and in high school, I went with graphic design because it's something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy doing art. Otherwise, I did track and cross country. I'm a long distance runner. I can run for many, many miles, and not big a deal. I did the 2 mile in track along with a bunch of other events like the 4x8 and long jump and triple jump, high jump. I tried the 400 and the 800 and the mile, but my main event was the 2 mile. Um, I love rock and roll. Music from the 60s and 70s is probably my favorite kind of music. Um, but for right now, I'm a graphic designer, freelance. I work at Ranky Irrigation right now, and I'm a machine operator there. Kind of cool stuff. And then I help out when I can at Pioneers Inn, which is our mom's restaurant. There in Gilead. Um, our dad is Lyle Killett. Levi already talked about him.
I forgot
I
to
don't know,
mention.
guys. What else must? What?
I said I forgot to mention he works at Fairbury Glass. So if you need any glass work done, Fairbury Glass a call.
Yeah. Fairbury Glass and Ham Glass in Beatrice. Both very great places. Whenever you got a broken window, whether it's on a house or a garage or even a car, they are the place to go.
Yeah, yeah, they are the place to
Well,
go.
yes, they
So
are.
I'm just gonna be honest. Halfway through your speech, Levi, all of a sudden my Chrome just closed. Um, but I got it back up quickly, just to let you know. So I missed like maybe 5 seconds of your whole spiel. I don't know
That's
what I
fine.
missed, but I
If
think
anybody has if anybody has questions, they can find me on Facebook and message me or message you, and you can text me.
yeah, which I have done. Yes, Eli is actually going to be a whole lot busier now because I have just sent him off a PC so he can hone in his skills for artistic reasons. Um,
So yeah,
so,
once I get the PC in, I'm gonna be going crazy. I'm gonna be finishing up Levi's logo. I'm gonna be finishing up my van. By the way, for those who don't know, I got a 1965 Chevy G10 van, and I am doing the entire van my own way with flowers and rainbows and yin yangs and all that other groovy stuff. And I'm designing it all myself. And once I get that PC in, I will be designing the outer skin for that thing.
um, what is the 1965 Chevy van most common for, Eli?
Being the Mystery Machine. The
Thank you,
Mystery
thank you.
Machine is also a 1965 Chevy van.
With the
I thought you
1968 front end
And
too. It's a custom.
it's modified. Well, no, the front windshield is a 1968,
I thought the grill was too.
and then the tail. No, the headlights are 1965.
Ah,
Hey, yo, Google pictures of a 1965 G10 Chevy van, and it'll look just like the Mystery Machine. And then also you can look it up on Warner Bros. Website for those of you who don't believe me. Yep, I got the Mystery Machine. I got a lot of people telling me, hey, you need to paint it like the Mystery Machine. But I'm going to do my own thing with it. I'm going to be original. And you know what? My van isn't called the Mystery Machine. It's going to be called the Groove Cruiser.
the Groove Cruiser.
That's the
Let's
name of my
go.
van. Groove Cruiser.
Gonna be
Oh,
groovy,
yeah.
bro.
It's going to be groovy, man, on the inside and the out.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
All the way around. Oh, yeah.
Alrighty.
And
Is
then
it
other
my
than
turn?
that, finish some. One more thing. I got one more thing to say. I'm going to finish some of my artwork. I'm going to print them off. I'm going to frame them. And then I'm going to do some t-shirt designs. And I plan on going to Hippie Fest here in a couple of years with a little tent in my van. And I'm going to be selling shirts and art pieces out of my van at Hippie Fest.
Bam.
Are you
And
gonna get a
now,
cricket
my turn.
or not a cricket? Is it a
I
cricket?
thought
It is a cricket.
cricket machine. Yep, cricket machines are about $200. I thought about maybe going to Sports Shack, maybe doing a cricket machine. Sports Shack would be a higher quality print on the shirt. Otherwise, I'd be spending like $10,000 on an actual screen printing um, technology. But a cricket would still be very cool to have. But that is something that I'm going to decide down the road.
There we go. There we go. Bam. Groovy, bro. Groovy. Groovy. Alright.
Your turn, please.
It is my turn. I gotta figure out what I did with my notes. Okay, so yeah. Um I'm obviously these two brothers, brother. These yeah. I'm their brother. The youngest one, the coolest one, the most athletic one. No, I'm just playing. Um, um, yeah, so we all went to the same college. I'm sorry, I should be back here. We all went to the same college. Um, we all did different majors because Levi, he did automatic, Eli graphic design, and I did construction, which is all really um, cool skills in different arts, I guess. Um, just shows how different we are. Uh, from there, I graduated with a construction technology degree. I used it for a side hustle back when I still lived in Nebraska. Um, I built decks, remodeled a house. Um, I don't know what else I all did with the side hustle. But, oh yeah, I also built a roof. Um, then uh, I worked for EBS Construction, and we built a post and beam cabin and a post and beam garage, and that was a really fun project. Um, he's actually an engineer for like subways, like for the MTA and everything. So he does come up like once a year to New York to help design all the new projects and engineer, all that stuff. So that's really cool. And I decided I needed to change and start chasing my dreams. So I decided to pack it up and move to New York as a small step towards my bigger goal. And I felt New York was a place to start with all the culture that was here for my dreams. But like life likes to take you in a different direction sometimes. And so I've actually been focusing more on like childhood dreams. I mean, my main goal is still a childhood dream, but like the dreams I've been working on are like my side quests, you know? If we want to go into like video game chat. Um, so I've been working on like YouTube. I have two YouTube pages. One is for gaming, where I play. I'm a broke person, so I can't play like really any new games. So I play Minecraft, Skyrim, and Rocket League. As for now, and hopefully someday I'll be getting on to play newer games. But I think I'm gonna take a break. I want to work on my craft on other things like designing, and that leads me to my next one, my personal one, which is Isaiah Kelowitz on YouTube, um, where I started that out when I first got here, like just baking because I was bored and didn't know what else to do, and I'm gonna go back into it, baking in October, um, because I decided, you know what, it is time to get back into baking because it's bulk season, and I would just want to take it a step further, and I want to do like something special for um, Halloween and something special for like Thanksgiving, and then I also design houses, like do videos for designing houses, like help to like kind of help you understand what goes into designing the house, and um, tutorials basically, and hopefully helping other designers design houses. Just giving it my own version. Maybe someone can use the ideas they see and create their own house and design their own house, and that'd be cool. Um, and I kind of want to get on more into depth with my construction and start reading more like books on architect and actually start a book review on the channel. Um, Other than that, those are my basically what I've been doing. I'm gonna check my other notes because I just kind of freestyled that. Oh, as of right now, I work at a plant-based restaurant, and for anyone that's gonna ask, no, I am not vegan. Okay, I like meat. I love meat. I chow down on meat. Okay. Um,
Nebraska.
Nebraska
He's a
beef,
Nebraska kid.
bro. I'm from the beef state. I always tell people I'm from the beef state. You don't want to mess with me. I'm from the beef state. Okay? From the beef state. Um, yeah, so checking my notes, and yeah, that is everything that I wrote down. So, yeah, any questions, class?
I'd like to know what vehicle is sitting behind Levi right now.
I do too. I really do.
So let me move out of the way here. As you can see, here is a 1940 Chevy pickup, which is going to get stripped down. And I think you can see what we have here. But as you can see, I have a 1990 S10 frame with a 383 stroker, a turbo 350 with a shift kit, and a and a Ford 10 Posi, or should I say a 10 bolt rear end out of I want to say an 86 Grand Prix. It is a Ford. It has 410 gears in it, and this truck right behind me is my new latest. I should say my latest rubber rod into the cab, the box, everything gets swapped over to that frame, and I'm going to probably take fenders off and design things the way I want it designed. And yeah, hopefully it looks pretty cool when I get done with it. Hopefully, or at least it looks really cool in my head the way I have it designed.
Bam. Let's go, dudes. I'm excited. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see. So yeah. Yeah. So do we wanna get into some football? I know Eli doesn't want to get into some football.
I don't know a single thing about football.
What
I
what
didn't
what
say
we?
you want to do an update on Pioneers Inn
Yep.
too?
Oh yeah, we could do an update on Pioneers Inn too. Um, who wants to start on the update? I can say as of last night when I called mom, she already had 5 grand raised through having the donation dinner at the town hall, and then there's like 3 organizations that are also throwing fundraisers for her. Y'all can.
Can I throw in right here?
Yes.
Well, she is, she just got a Blackstone grill and she is planning on having a burger night next week on Thursday nights to keep up with the tradition. Woo woo!
Hi, Scrooby.
And then also, oh yeah, Scrooby's right here.
Hey, buddy.
Say
Hi.
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 Yep, that's my buddy Scroopy too. Ooh,
Yeah.
he's here with me too. He
Yeah. I'm
wanted to
sorry
say
for
hi.
cutting you off, Eli. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, that's all. Let's see. Oh, there is Lazy Horse Brewery is putting on a gravel grind. It is a 32 or a 65-mile route. Bring your bikes. All proceeds go towards Pioneers Inn for their new roof. Starting and finish line is at Pioneers Inn. There will be beer and pie and whatever else. All kinds of goody treats and fun stops along the way.
And many shots of
And
Fireball.
oh yeah, probably. I hope not. I'm not doing that again if there is, because wow, that was too much.
Yeah.
There, I don't have a whole lot of good memories with Fireball, but last time I did this, for those who don't know, I did the 100K gravel grind beer bike a couple
Which
years
is
ago, and about
65 miles.
halfway through they had stopped Fireball, and it was a bit much, but
Oh
it
yeah.
was fun nonetheless.
And you were only 2 miles
Yep,
short of finishing, right?
I was just a couple miles short. Well, what we did was we started in at Lazy Horse Brewery, and we went through Alexandria, Gilead, and I think it was Byron. And I took a wrong turn and I missed Byron, and I was just a couple miles short of actually finishing the course.
I'm pretty sure
But
you mean Bruning, because Byron is on the
Bruin,
other side.
Yeah, Byron's out by Chester.
Yeah, that's Byron's close to the
and
Kansas border. Closer.
definitely not Byron. It had to have been Bruning.
Bruning or Belvedere.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bruning or Belvedere is in there.
One of those towns. I'd tell you, but I never made it. I'm gonna try and do this year. I'm gonna buy a brand new bike. I'm gonna do the shorter course, not the longer course, and I'm not taking any fireball.
Yeah, you got a train
It's gonna be
train.
fun. Again, I do hear the train, and it is on October 21st. It only costs $25 for donation to Pioneers Inn. Get in, ride your bike. You can show up and do a donation, maybe buy some pie.
Damn. Sounds like fun.
So, yeah, it
Anything you
will
like
be.
to add?
Yeah, was that?
I said anything you'd like to add, Levi?
So a little recap here is for those who don't know exactly what's going on.
Or
A
didn't
few weeks ago,
didn't finish the episode last week because it was way
yeah,
too long.
yeah. So here's a quick recap. Is a couple weeks ago on I want to say August 25th, we had strong winds come through and it ripped the roof off of Piners Inn. Um, we also had about 2.5 inches of rain that night as well, so there is water damage on the inside or possible water damage. I should say on the inside. We don't know the extent of it. The, we Unfortunately, we did not have insurance on the building because it was a historical building and it was going to cost too much to do to have insurance in the building. So my never parents never a um, his classmate Mackenzie Johnson came out from Channel 8 Eyewitness News and did a report on it. Um, we have, as Elijah mentioned and Isaiah probably mentioned, is we are doing free will donation meals out of the Gilead Town Hall. We cannot sell things to the rules for a community hall. We are working on getting a temporary license the village of Gilead so we can serve alcohol out of the town hall. Elijah already mentioned that the gravel grind, their donations are going to go there. Jackie Haddle, she is one of the um, big contributors to the one of the head honchos in charge. She actually has set up a GoFundMe page for Pioneers Inns. If you want to donate, feel free to donate. If you are in the Fairbury area, we do have a donation fund account at Union Bank in Fairbury. Um, that is That's pretty much what we got. We have had a few people come down and look at the building. We have not got any estimates back yet, so we don't know the full extent of the damage. So we reached out to a couple historical societies, and unfortunately, they will not give us grants because we are running a business out of the historical building. So maybe, I mean, if you guys know something that we don't know, we, we would totally take that information. But overall, that is pretty much the recap on Pioneers Inn and the status of it. We we were supposed to do Burger Night last week, or we were attempting to do Burger Night last week because of the Husker game. We were gonna try doing it, but unfortunately, we thought it was gonna be too soon. We talked about doing it this week, but we have a family wedding, and so it wasn't gonna work out. So as Elijah and Sarah mentioned, we will be putting on Burger Night next Thursday. Hope you all any information or any information is helpful, and we appreciate everything you guys do.
Bam. Also, side note, um, the Legion Riders are also looking at maybe starting a fundraiser as well. So, I mean, it's not happened yet, so I probably shouldn't say anything, but I'm just throwing that out there. It might happen. So, yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Woo! So, I just want to warn you. I got a notification from Google saying we only have 10 minutes left
11
on this
according
call.
to my phone.
11? Oh, 11, my bad.
Yep, my phone
So,
also says 11.
I mean, yeah, we might extend it. I don't know. I might just call you back, like, you know, create a new link, and I can just edit it and cut it if you want. That's up to you. Or we can do a shorter, very short episode this week. That's also up to you.
Technically, aren't podcasts like an hour long?
Well, yeah, like most of the ones I listen to, well, that I don't listen to, I pay attention to, are like an hour and a half. So that's why I threw out an hour and a half. So, I mean, we didn't really have much scripted this week anyway.
No, it was just good introductory on all of us. We didn't really get one last week because we're so hyped about Husker football.
Yeah.
Last week was a little long.
Yeah,
2
that's what
hours.
everybody was saying. They're like, I only got the 40 minutes, and I was like, I don't think there's any podcast that really does a 40-minute podcast. There might be, but not to my knowledge.
Yep. Yeah, and we winged it last week too. So
Yeah. Trial runs.
This week we actually had an idea and kind of script of what we were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 I'm gonna see what I
do not have a
texted.
script.
Sorry, I'm looking at what I texted you to make sure I'm not missing any notes. Oh yeah, I'm not missing any of the notes. Oh yeah, so we already did a recap. Holy cow! Of the week, so we good on that. Other than that, I just had NFL. The NFL. Which I know, Eli, you don't like football. You don't know nothing about football.
Hey,
But
Well,
he
I know
played.
you
He
throw a
played
football.
one. Hey, he played 1 year of Pee Wees. Leave him alone.
hey, and he
Oh,
threw a kid 5 freaking yards. Okay, I do remember that.
yeah, and that was the last football game I ever played. Because after that, yeah. So story behind that is I did Thunder football for one season, my sixth grade year, and I was defensive end right. And there was this little kid that was like half my height running after me. And I thought it was kind of funny, so I kind of just picked him up and I tossed him off to the side. Well, my coach didn't like that too much, and that was the last football game I played that season. That's okay, because I really didn't take the sport too seriously. I kind of just did it because that's what everybody else was doing. And I found out that it's not for me. It's not my sport. And that's when I started running.
Bam,
So I ran cross
beautiful,
country my seventh grade year, and that's when I started running. I've been a
beautiful,
runner ever since.
beautiful,
Oh, yeah.
beautiful.
That's what makes us. That's what makes us all unique. Is we all have. We all this school for different. We all did different activities between school, and so that's what makes us all unique.
I just remembered something. Um, well, one before I forget. I did have someone say we should go into conspiracies for our podcast. Um, if
Biden is a robot.
Biden's a robot, no, Biden is cloned.
But
But
he's a
the
robot raised
Twin
by a
Towers was a
vacuum pump.
government job.
Biden
That
is
was a
that
government. Actually,
robot.
the day before, the guy took out an insurance claim. The guy bought it like a year whatever before. Um, and then he put insurance on it like a week before for terrorist acts. And then the day that it collapsed, he always showed up for breakfast. He did breakfast on the 81st floor or whatever. And on the day that it went down, he did not show for breakfast and said he had an emergency hospital thingy. So think about that.
Another another thing is with the Twin Towers is apparently aired it in Great Britain basically a day before it happened.
Hmm. Hmm.
And they were talking about how the Twin Towers already fell. And apparently the news feed was the Twin Towers have already fell. And they were still standing upright at that point, and they were reporting that the Twin Towers had fallen.
Interesting. Interesting. Eli, you got a conspiracy theory on the Twin Towers?
On the Twin Towers. Um, I don't think so.
Ah,
Sure,
um,
I'll go with the whole thing in film.
alrighty, alrighty. Alright. Levi's distracted right now.
Here's Shiloh in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, love you, bye.
Hi.
Hi.
Bye. Also, another thing that we discussed, Levi, was we should explain what more of the story of why we created the podcast, right?
We got what, three. We got 3 minutes.
3 minutes to describe it.
3 minutes. Okay, so we created this podcast. It was originally Levi wanted to call it Basement Talks because of Wayne's World. I took it as the 70s show circle. Then I threw out the idea that I didn't like basement talk, so we should do like backyard something or basement something. Um, I didn't like anything with the basement BS, so we went with I threw out the idea of backyard bullshit, and backyard bullshit kind of just ended up happening. How many?
A lot of it too is we kind of grew up hanging around campfires, cooking hot dogs, stuff like that, and just hanging out. I mean, small town country kids. That's what we did. So, like you said, is my idea was I thought of Wayne's World and made it more personal by saying, hey, we grew up just hanging out by campfires and bonfires and stuff and bullshit. So let's just might as well make it our podcast. So
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So since we only have a minute, I'm gonna just throw out here real quick. If you have any questions, any ideas, follow on our Instagram, Backyard BS Podcast. Um, DM us anything if you have ideas or questions or I don't know what else I'm trying to think of.
if you if you want to get a hold of me to learn more about my nonprofit, you can find me on Facebook under Levi Kelowitz, or I do have my side business page, which is Kelowitz Customs. That is KUSTOMC. So if you have any questions or comments or concerns and you want to reach out to me,